Let's do this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 of the first semifinals best of 3 series today between the Russian team of Synergy and the Europe team of Bloods Groupies. Synergy, we had high expectations, and I think they blew even our expectations out of the water with that game number 1, though. Groupies, they've had time to consolidate, figure out what they can do right. Or not, so I'm sorry, that came out wrong. What they can do better, because they did a lot of things right in game number 1, but what they can improve on and how they can bring this to a game number 3. So let's introduce these teams one more again. You guys saw those rosters. We here have Nick Eagle on Muriel, Obel, Pixa on Severog, Clearcast on Sparrow, Mrock on Faye. Could someone do me a favor? If someone could tell me the phonetic pronunciation of his name, because I'm sure it's not that with a Russian accent. And
Mr. Ock.
And Mortarian on the Kwong.
We've got iFairless on Narbash, ladies and gentlemen. Kalaribot is rocking Gadget, Airsick, Hydroplane, Fang Mao. Mr. Wacko on, which we haven't seen a lot of this week. Murdoch and Remix Gibbler is back on the Crux.
All right.
So we are going to see Quag. We're going to see Quag in lane. I know it's Kwong. I like saying Quag. We're going to see Kwong in lane against going Fang Mao versus Kwong over here.
So I'm not familiar with this matchup. We talked about how they have very similar play styles. Obviously, Kwong has that on-demand armor with his right mouse button of the heavens. Just everything is named of the heavens, except his auto attack. So I feel like when it comes to exchanging blows and making trades, that the Kwong probably has a little bit of an edge, pun intended, because of the fact that he has that on-demand armor. But I don't know, man. I think one of these guys would have to make when it comes to the 1v1. Probably, I'd imagine one of these guys will have to make a misplay for them to drop a kill on each other. But we'll see. It's not a matchup I'm familiar with. We'll keep an eye on it. But hold that thought. Getting aggressive is Blood's Groupies. Smash and grab is going to land onto Miro and Severog. I said, what do they need to do to get themselves into game number 3? And this is what they need right here. They do take down Grux, but they might get turned around. Nick Eagle turned around. He just goes in there 2v4, and they get a kill. But Narbash turns it around as well, and they take out both the Miro and the Severog, and now Clearcast. He's in a very awkward spot. Narbash hit him with the drumstick right there. KFC, who knows? That couldn't even been Church's chicken, but that's what Clearcast is going to need at church. He's going to pray to that bot. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy skins. 3 easy kills over to Groupies, and already they're looking better here in game number 2 than in game number 1, Josh.
Yeah, I think the aggression. So I'm gonna be biased. I know some people are gonna talk crap, but I'm gonna be biased. The early game, we used to see a lot of very hardcore aggression coming out of a team called Triangle Formation.
Yeah.
That switch now where we see Reborn is very aggressive early game. They rotate into the jungle. We see a lot of aggression. That throws teams off.
Yeah.
Some teams don't respond well to that early game aggression, and it actually ruins the entire tone of the game for them. So maybe that's the play coming out of Blood's Groupies right now.
Yeah.
We're going to go in. They're going to go in, and they're going to... Nick Eagle's going to fall. Or, I'm sorry, Mr. Ox is going to fall. Rock's going to fall.
Last game it was...
He's going to fall early. So maybe this is the play. Be aggressive, throw them off their game, and I feel like that's a good call. There's Kaiser's going to have to be careful here. Mark's very low. Minions are doing a ton of damage.
Here comes Severog, though. Root's not going to land, but Severog should be able to pick this kill up. Just if I'm that Severog, I'm like, hold on, don't kill him. Let me get my siphon. Waiting for it. Nope, he just auto-attacks and brings the hammer and picks him up. So just like that, 4 kills over to the European team of Blood's Groupies. I thought Mortar and Potapot quite possibly could have got down there, but the Severog showed up just in the nick of time. Turned that around. So let's talk about the draft a little bit and how it varies from game number 1. Obviously talked about Quag being on the field, but more specifically, we saw Faye in a lane support role in game number 1 for the Russian team Synergy, but now they've switched it up. They now have Muriel in that lane support, and they've put Faye in the mid lane. So obviously, we saw in that roster, that infographic, that another thing that Synergy has is an extraordinarily deep hero pool. They will take that same hero and play them on 2 different people and two completely different play styles.
Yeah, which I think when you look at these teams and we look at the more diverse your draft can get, the more more heroes you can play. I think in the long run helps your team more, and Synergy has that ability. They have the ability to play all of the heroes, and it's going to be interesting to see. Are they going to recover from those quick 4 deaths early game? Yes, 2 deaths of Blood Groupies have died twice, but you know the Jungle was picked up. The enemy jungle, red side, was picked up by Blood's Groupies, so they're going to lose some farm there. Are they going to be able to come back from this mid game? I got to give this mid game right now, early, to Kalaribot. I think Kalaribot's going to have the better pressure, more so because of the damage she's going to be able to deal to Faye.
Right.
That landmine. That mine, not the landmine, that's howitzer. The mine itself is a ton of damage. The sticky bomb is a ton of damage, and it can really bully Faye out of this lane. Lane clear is going to be similar, but you know, Faye's is over time. Faye combos off herself well, but you don't get those big spikes of damage like Kalaribot's going to be able to provide.
Right. Feng Mao and Kwang continue to duel each other out. It's the halberd versus the sword, and as I kind of thought, looks like the Kwang has the advantage in that fight. A little bit better clear wave. He has better wave clear. He has that on-demand armor. So Airsick Hydra, by no means is he going to get completely taken out as long as he plays it right. But right now he's definitely having a frustrating time against that Kwang. The lane is pushing in there. Tower taking a little bit of damage. Any rotation, this off lane I feel like could be a very contentious area from both of the junglers on both teams. Airsick Hydra actually elected to use the ult to clear with that wave. I have a feeling the reason he's doing that is so that he can push out his own wave, allow him the space to back without worrying about his tower getting taken out.
Yeah, lane clear right now for Kwang is not the greatest. We're seeing only 9 card powers. He's picked up the Radiant Mantle, so he does have that extra push, a little bit of extra push. But it gives, like you said, Feng Mao time to back purchase. What did Feng Mao pick up? A Radiant Mantle himself. So again, they're both going to be back and forth with those Radiant Mantles. So it just gives him the time to safely back. And Mort doesn't have the luxury of, I mean, yes, he can throw down his sword and ult back, but then you've wasted an ultimate. And I think saving that ultimate right now for an engagement mid lane or for a rotation is very important.
Faye's in a lot of trouble. Here comes that reversal of fortune. Brux, he's going to try to stick on that target the best he can. Kalaribot has not much energy. It's coming down to the auto attacks here. Remix is going really hard, but the speed boost is enough to create distance, even with that red buff. There is enough mana for Remix to pull off a smash and grab. It is going to hit, and that should be the death of the Faye, but have they overextended? As we lean over here, and we do a little bit of a shoulder lane, drop the base. Oh, it's time to jam. As the ultimate actually didn't go off, it looks like. Not sure what happened, but it doesn't matter. The Thunk is going to be there. Here comes Remix again. So much value in these fights. He took out the Faye. Now he's taking out the Sparrow. It's just a slaughterhouse over here. But here comes Mortarion. He wants to get a big ultimate off. He's looking for the sword. He is level 7. Can he do it? He got the tether. 1, 2, auto attacks. Narbash is a tanky son of a bitch indeed. Not tanky enough, though, as he does get taken out. Here comes Mr. Wacko and Murdoch. Mortarion is going to go down a 4-for-2 exchange. Groupies with the aggression. Wonderfully done. Remix is putting on a much better game on this Grux in game number 2 than he did in game number 1. They're looking much, much better here, Notch. They definitely are cementing themselves a significant momentum, but more importantly, significantly as far as the kills and taking out that very, very important targets. The very, very important targets.
Yeah, this is much different than we saw game number 1. Airsick Hydra has to be careful here. He is going to hit travel mode, but if this root lands, he could possibly fall to Obs here. There's the root. We're going to see the big knockback, knocking him away from his tower. Here comes Faye behind with the brambles. He's going to try and Reaping Dash away. I don't think it's going to be enough, especially with the range coming out of Faye there, so he is going to end up falling. But like you said, very, very important kills. Blood Groupies is playing very aggressive. Their rotations are on point, going and securing that. Yes, it's a 4v2. They come out on top. They didn't lose any towers for those fights, which is great. But again, they're if I'm Synergy, I'm nervous right now. We're 8 minutes into the game. We've got 8 deaths. Great rotations coming out. Like you said, Remix Gibbler is playing so much better on Grux's game than he played in the first one. And this has got to be scary for them right now. Taking the wind out of their sails. They were confident coming into this game, and Blood Groupies is like, it doesn't matter that you just won. We're still here. This isn't going to be an easy. You're not going to 2-0 us. This isn't going to be an easy victory for you to get to the finals. You're going to have to fight for this, and I love seeing this aggression come out of Blood's Groupies for sure. So
a lot of people got to play on Monolith at the open beta event. Specifically, we're interested in Narbash. How currently on Legacy, he doesn't feel particularly strong when compared to the other caster supports.
Right.
But a lot of people have postulated that on Monolith, he's going to be absolutely amazing as far as a lane bully and just being able to use the utilization of his speed boost, so on and so forth. Right here on Legacy, the map of Legacy, with auto sprint with the bigger map, we're seeing just great play out of Fairless on this Narbash here. He still is, I think, one of the best lane bullies in the game, whether or not he's on this map or on the upcoming map of Monolith. But I really like that not only are we seeing Narbash, but it's not this like gimmick pick. It's not like, oh, we're going to play Narbash just to play him. They're playing him seriously, and this Narbash has gotten a lot of value just in the first 10 minutes of this game, and a Tier 1 tower is going to be pushed, and they should just be able to pick this up without any response.
Yeah, Narbash, that speed boost, any hero that has some sort of a movement speed increase instantly becomes a stronger hero.
Yeah.
If you have a slow, if you have that increase, I am currently off the map and can't get back on the map.
I know that pain, brother.
But like you said, yes, Grim, Narbash, Gadget, Kalari, hello.
Hello? Are we talking about Kalari right now?
We're talking about Kalari comes in, and Kalari comes in with a vengeance, and it's just like, oh my god, this hero's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new map is going to be a huge game changer, and I'm excited to see it. Especially like you said, Narbash becomes top tier, instantly top tier.
We believe he will be. He'll definitely be better. We'll see how it plays out. It's hard to without actually being able to play the map. All the meanwhile, we're ranting about the drum machine of Narbash. Kwang was taken out once again inside of the confines of his own jungle, and you can attribute that if you look at the mini map, the blue side of Synergy. Inside of the jungle, warded up, so that wards are literally map hacks, ladies and gentlemen, that you can buy in the game. Make sure you always buy them. There's the batter up from the Gadget. The tower's going to go down. I wonder if Obo's going to continue to get aggressive here. As Kalari bot uses the snare on him, he doesn't use the speed gate yet. The snare from Sevarog could be enough to secure a kill here. His ultimate's not online. He's looking for it, being patient. Beautiful dodge by Kalari, but it's still might not be enough. As Obo, he's going to dive this tower and pick up the kill.
He's got to be careful here. He's got to be careful.
Does he know that? Does he know that's not his? That's not.
I think he was. Did he know stopped? He was making it so Airsick Hydra couldn't get the amber. Is why he sacrificed himself there.
Well,
he noticed rotation coming behind him. Decided to go into the tower and actually die because the person who would have got the amber, Kalari bot, is off the map, so nobody technically gets that amber.
Here comes the push, the Tier 1 tower in red. That is a big, hefty siege wave. Smash and grab onto the Sparrow. That's what you're looking for. The double pain into the challenge of the Warlord. They're going to pick that up. As we all know, Grux's grandma was the best teacher one could be. I think, you know what Remix did? He went ahead and hit up Grux's grandma and said, what do I need to do this game to take it back? And Grux's grandma gave him that advice. Just go ham in the jungle. He's been living up to it. We all know Grux's grandma is pretty much this, prophesizing oracle figure inside of Paragon that maybe one day will make her appearance. But the day that she makes her appearance is the day that every single hero is going to become obsolete.
Yep. Grux's grandma's a boss.
Oh man, she's just
she is the bossiest of bosses right now. We do have Tier 2 tower being attacked by minions right now. It's only going to get down to about 75% health, but rotation coming over from Fade, able to secure that and pick that up. Blood's Groupies is playing so well right now. They've got a total of 11 kills. They've got map control as of this moment. They've got, these 2 Tier 1s down, 3 Tier 1s down, I believe. Yep, all 3 Tier 1s down, so the map is open in their favor.
Yep.
They can get aggressive. If they can keep the split up and properly set the minion waves and allow minions to do the work, this is an easy or prime at about the 17-minute mark.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a very valid point. They've had that area under control for a while now. If they can maintain that, they can absolutely activate those prime cards. And I feel like this game is a complete role reversal here. Game number 1, Synergy was being aggressive in the jungle, getting kills, getting towers, important kills nonetheless on the Rangers, hindering the Rangers' progression, hindering their farm, making them feel scared and anxious to go out on the map whether or not they have wards. And now it's Groupies that are the ones turning it around, almost a complete inverse to what happened in game number 1 here in this second game of this best of 3 series. And I like that. I like that Groupies, for all intents and purposes, were lost in every single measurable way that you can. They didn't get demoralized by it and immediately went in. Here comes Fairless with the ultimate, gonna knock him up. Nick Eagle proc up the ultimate, so they didn't get the kill, but they forced out an ultimate. At the same time, they gave up a tower for that. Not sure if that was necessarily worth it. They wanted to get a kill there. Even if they did get the kill, they still would have lost a Tier 1 tower in the red lane. But we're at 15 minutes. The emphasis around that black buff isn't nearly as important as it was before. And I won't be surprised if we start seeing these teams start to be less concerned about, farming up in lanes and start seeing a little bit more aggression inside of each respective jungle.
Have we taken a look at the score, the card power here? I want to take a look at
pretty good.
Narvash's build.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Narvash is going full support. We've got Overflowing Gifts, which gives him the activate. He can grant 10 health regen to his allies, plus Shepherd, which is another 10 health regen to his allies, plus Circlet of Health, which is a passive of 4.2 health. So you're at what, 27 health, plus his E ability, which is more health.
Yeah.
So he's going very support build right here. Airsick Hydra is going to fall to a Quang and a Fae. They're trying to push this tier 2 tower. Kalaribot's rotating up. Kalaribot has to be careful not to get caught out by Mort. But at the same time, in the other lane, we've got another fight happening in the jungle here. Clearcast is very, very low. Mr. Wacko's doing a ton of damage. They're gonna be able to secure that kill on Clearcast, possibly pick up a tier 2 tower, because all that's defending right now is Nick Eagle. Yeah. And we all know that Muriel's defense is so strong. She's gonna have to be careful here. Big smash and grab. It is gonna miss, but I think it was more to just clear that minion wave, because minions were coming behind it.
Yep.
And are they going to pick this up? Are they going to rotate down to Sevarog? What are we doing, boys?
They're looking around. They're thinking about it. They're like the tower of the Sevarog. Which one? Which one?
What are we doing?
They're gonna fall back. So I mentioned how in that team fight early on, they preemptively got it. Can they follow it up there? The root onto 2, beautifully done. Here comes Oval, the song of his people. They need to interrupt. Where's the batter up? He is going to get out of it instead of trying to interrupt it. So forced out the Narbash ultimate. But that pickoff onto Sparrow was 100% set up by the fact that they knew that Nick Eagle's ultimate reversal of fortune was not online. As we saw prior to that, they were able to force it out when they did lose the tier 1 tower, but they forced out the ultimate here. So in exchanging of the blows, no one going down there. That was a good smash and grab. They were posturing as if they were going to retreat, but instead they immediately smashed and grabbed the Fae. Weren't able to pick up the kills on either side, though.
Dude, the smash and grab, that preemptive, he cast it right as she was coming around the corner. Such a good smash and grab. Faye just ran into it. If they would have got the kill, it would have been clutch. But holy crap, I mean, the early cast on that and her just running into it. Great smash grab. Too bad they didn't have the follow-up to get that kill there. They did protect their towers, so no tier 2 towers have fell. But Blood's Groupies continuing to be aggressive.
We've called them that, yeah.
So many times. They rotated over. They're trying to pick up more.
They've been chasing Mortarion for like 30 seconds now, trying to catch him off.
Use Benny Hill music, Shane.
Oh, man. Can they actually catch him out? Look for a thunk. They're going to go. Oh, no, they missed. Can they get him? Mortarion the God. Oh, no, he's not going to get away. He's going to get caught here. He uses his tether to try to keep himself alive. But I thought he was going to get away there for a moment, man. But no. He is going to get caught out. Yeah, the 3 of them were chasing him, trying to intercept him for like while you were talking about talking about that last team fight. We were just watching them run around and try to chase him. They do end up getting him, taking him off the field for 45 seconds here. So let's take a look at the Kwong build. He's at 27 card points. I think it's a fairly standard fighter build. I don't think you're going to build Kwong any differently than you would like a Feng Mao or someone, a Grux or anything of that nature. It's just damage as your primary source, a secondary health, tertiary attack speed, as well as, of course, the wards and the blink charm. So I think this is a pretty standard build for him for Mortarion on Kwong.
Yeah, it really is. I also want to point out, if you take a look at these builds, a lot of early game builds. We're seeing Mr. Wacko, 6 cost Madstone Gem, 6 cost Madstone Gem. We've got a 5 cost. We've got a 6 cost Meltdown. We're seeing these early game builds. They'll start selling these for 9 and 12 costs as we get into the later games, but this is them getting their damage early online, or more damage early online, allowing them to push waves a little better. When a team fight happens, they're not useless. We'll start seeing them probably sell these for a little bit more resistance or health as we get into this mid to late game. Remix Gibbler already off the bat, he's 33 card power, opposed to at this time last game he was only at 24. So he's in much better spot. He's already picked up a tankiness that he desperately needed in the last game. So we're seeing some good builds. We're seeing the early game, and we're going to rotate here to this mid to late game very soon. I'm just waiting for this Orb Prime fight. The warding is already happening.
Yep.
Who's going to take the Orb Prime? Because they're close in card power. There is an advantage on the side of Blood Groupies. Excuse me. Blood's Groupies, but it's not like it's not
insurmountable
has to worry. Yeah. Right. They're not in that spot where like, oh crap, we're down 4 card power. How do we do this?
Yes.
So they're not rushing for an Orb Prime. So it's going to be interesting to see when this Orb Prime comes into effect and how these teams play this out. Because right now, I'm giving this game to Bloods Groupies as of this moment in time. Just the way they're playing, it's so much more aggressive. It's been working out better for them. So I mean, this is Bloods Groupies' game to lose.
Yeah, I think game one was just a warm up game for them, man. They're like, all right, we're relaxed now. We did our stretching. The blood is pumping. The heart is pounding, and they've been running with the momentum that they've built up here in game number 2, and they're going to continue to do so. As once again, they're going into the jungle. Whether or not they find kills here, Notch, I think the more important objective, or rather the primary objective here, is to deward and take away vision of this area, as you pretty much were foreshadowing this happening as we're at that 20-minute mark. People are starting to get their level 3 of their ultimates. People are starting to get those sort of very important cards, the Blink Charms, the second, third damage item on your Rangers and on your damage fighters. And so now we're going to start seeing a lot of posturing around this area, as this area right here, the Orb Prime, sometimes just the, as we like to call it, the gauntlet, is where games are won or lost in this pit right here. And that's why we see these guys dewarding this area. They understand the importance of it, having that vision. And using that vision gives you such an advantage. You can work with it in so many ways, whether you bait out a team fight like we saw Synergy do in game number 1, or just outright take the Orb Prime. Mexican standoff right here. Maybe we'll hear some Red Dead Redemption music. Fearless is going to get caught out. Smash and grab onto one. Actually pulls in Nick Eagle, of all people. There's the clap as well. Eric Isik goes in there. The ultimate, I don't think he did damage to anyone. The Tesla Dome, Reversal of Fortune as well. This is a very, very hectic team fight. We pretty much have 2 team fights going on at once right here. Fearless is very, very low. He's going to go down actually to the speed gate and remix it. There's a lot of trouble. Synergy, are they going to be able to pull this off? Down card experience, it looks like they are. Narbash and Grux, the SM Mork brothers, fall together, but all the meanwhile, they were able to pick off the Severug, so they did get at least something out of it. But Airsick Hydra gets caught out by Faye. It's the 2 caster supports here, and here comes Clearcast. Gonna start hitting with that arrow. Someone get this man an adult, because he needs adult soon, or he might get taken out. And there's the adults showing up. Claribot and Mr. Wacko are now doing the damage. Focus now on Nick Eagle. Focusing now on Clearcast. This is a 3v3. Look for a Reaper's dash up, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The big flank. He does have that shield to rely on. Can he get out of there? The shield goes down, but it's a little bit too late. The barrier might be enough to give the damage mitigation to Airsick. Hydra needs to get away, and they're now falling back defensively. All the meanwhile, Gadget doing so much harassing damage with the turrets, with the bombs, but here comes Mortarion. He wants to come in there, and he wants to just take this team fight back into their hands, and that's exactly what he does. He cleans up the Fang Meow. He's looking for more. There's the Faye picking off the Murdoch, and I feel like that was a 3 for 3 exchange. Actually, no, it was a 3 for 4 because Fearless died in that team fight and spawned. So a very elongated, scrappy team fight. Very, very even exchange. No one's gonna be able to pick up the Orb Prime here.
Yeah, nobody's gonna pick up Orb Prime, but more importantly, that just puts Synergy back into even card power. 36 for Clearcast, 30. I mean, Wacko's, instead of being 2 card power level ahead, he's only 1 card power level ahead. A lot of damage went on onto a tier 2 tower from those minions, but this puts Synergy back into those team fights. Back into contention for those team fights. This is perfect right now.
Yeah.
For Synergy, they needed an engagement to go their way, and that went their way. I'm gonna chalk it up to better focus on heroes. There was a lot of split damage coming out from Bloods Groupies, and the damage coming out of Synergy was focused. They took out Grux early. They took out Narbash early because they both went into that back line. Were able to pick up those kills. Mort came back and was able to secure that kill onto Mr. Wacko. So good team fights from both. Better team fight for Synergy there. Their card power's all but even as of this point, and this is again, it's still anybody's game. It's going to come down to who comes out healthier in these team fights.
Nonetheless, Groupies, despite the fact that they maybe have been didn't take that fight as efficiently as the Russian team of Synergy, they still were able to pick up very important kills onto the onto Mr. Wacko, on the Murdoch, onto Remix Gibbler, who was starting to get Grux can get a little snowbally sometimes if he builds him up a significant lead. So taking out that Grux, I think it was fairly important, as I believe he did have a bounty on his head. He's 6-2. So to imagine that he had some form of bounty on his head as well as Mr. Wacko. He was 4-0 at the time. So he had a bounty on his head as well, and so a big infusion of card experience. But yeah, Grux is at 42 card experience, and that's what I was talking about, the snowball factor of Remix. He got a decent smash and grab off in there, but he went right into the front line. They focused fire down the Grux, and if I think Grux, if Remix is able to have a long uptime in these team fights and get 2-3 double pains off, maybe even 2 smash and grabs, and latch onto the targets he's looking for, whether it be the backline caster supports or even the lone front line of Severog, he's really going to be able to do quite a lot. The Orb Prime, again, this contentious area continues to be the point of focus for both of these teams. A team fight just went down. They're back on the field. I think they've tried to set the lanes, and now they're all grouping up in this area once again, looking for any opportunity, any wiggle room, any chink in the armor of their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a, with the way the Orb Prime has changed, no longer having to dunk the Orb Prime. The moment you kill it, it's activated for your team. It brings on your Orb Prime cards. Those of you that are new to Paragon, those are your first cards in your deck. They give you bonus damage to minions. They give you an additional health, extra damage, 300% damage to structures. So they're incredibly powerful cards, and you get those from killing a fairly easy boss. So
Yeah.
that's why we're seeing so much contention around this area right now. We're at the 25-minute mark. We're rotating into that late game now as people hit over the 36 card power mark. We're starting to rotate into the late game. They want this, so they're able to push towers. Remix is trying to get aggressive there. If he would have landed the ability on clear cast, I think he could have picked him up. But this is where we're going to see the action for the next couple of minutes. Lanes are set.
Yep.
Both teams have lanes pushing in their favor. Right now it's red lane for Blood's Groupies, and it's blue lane for Synergy. So, or I'm backwards. Am I backwards?
You're good. No, you're good. You're good. So, the smash and grab didn't get the Sparrow, but more it did force out the blink charm, which blink charm is a 3-minute cooldown. So, even if you didn't get that kill, you're like, okay, well now Clearcast has to be very, very concerned. They can't just, they don't have that blink charm to get themselves out of a bad initiation. Has to worry about the Fang Meow coming in and ulting. Has to worry about the Gadget ultimate. Has to worry about so many different things here. So we always talk about Sparrow. One of her inherent weaknesses is her lack of mobility, which she makes up through tankability and survivability. No blink charm gets rid of her escape mechanism that has kept her alive otherwise in these team fights. So getting that on cooldown, they're still going to be happy with that. 3 minutes without it. I won't be surprised with that blink charm being on cooldown if Synergy says, you know what, let's not even take a team fight. Let's just wait, set the lanes, continue to play this map control game that these guys have been sort of having this tug-of-war of minion control for the past couple of minutes since that last team fight.
Yeah, I mean, the moment blink charm went on cooldown, everybody backed on both teams.
Yeah.
They all backed. They're like, all right, let's go we've got card power. Let's go spend our card power and get back to lanes.
Right.
So that's exactly what they were doing. They were waiting for that to come up. We've got Fearless rocking a Purity Cleanser. We haven't seen this card in a friggin' long time,
I have always wondered when teams were going to pull this card out. I love this. It can cleanse off. You can tell I come from Heroes. It can remove. It can remove off any form of CC whatsoever. Doesn't matter. So Kwang's Tether, Phase Ultimate. You can use it on Phase Ultimate when you see the vines come out from the Venus Flytrap. You pop that, it completely negates that, and that's a bit. I think the biggest thing is it deals with the Phase Ultimate. It also, of course, can deal with Sevarog Roots. I absolutely love this pickup because I think Phase Ultimate is really the biggest threat when it comes to a team fight. And you know, Mrock has played a phenomenal Fae this game. We saw a phenomenal Fae on Nick Eagle. It's a testament to how deep these guys' heroes pools are and how flexible they are here on the Russian team. But I love that card. I'm so glad that we're going to see it utilized. The question is, it is a heavy investment though. 7 points for that, and it is a 3-minute cooldown. So when you do use it, you have to be very, very smart and make sure that you get as much value out of it as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's purely for that team fight. You pop it too early, and now it's not GG, but the card's out of use anymore. You can't.
Yeah, the game's over. It's on cooldown. GG.
What do you think of Satori Cloak on Muriel?
Interesting. You're right. I mean, she does have a little bit. She has a little bit of armor. She has 110 physical armor, so she's going to be shredding 55 physical armor, which is nothing to shake a stick at. And as well as the Toon Barrier, same thing. So she's essentially shredding 55 armor of both damage types, so I don't think it's necessarily that bad. Obviously, it's not as ideal as a Greystone, but hold that thought. We're going to see the effectiveness. There's the Purity Cleanser was just used right there. That's what I was talking about. Completely avoided the Venus Flytrap. They're going into the Narbash. The ultimate interrupts it and puts them in a very, very awkward spot. But here comes the Bruiser. The SM Orc brothers are here, and they are just in there. They're going to take down Fearless. The Reversal of Fortune is going to knock up the two of them there. The long arm of the lost coming in. It's several people. Can they continue to keep themselves alive? He is going to blink charm away to safety. Are they going to pursue? It looks like they're not. That they were able to pick up the Narbash there. The ultimate from Sevarog kept their team from getting too much of the dubstep damage, and only one person goes down, but that's what they killed one person. They made Grux very, very wounded and have to retreat to base with his tail tucked between his legs. They're healthy themselves. They're going to go for this Orb Prime. What's the play here from Blood's Groupies?
Shane, I don't know if you're still talking or not. Bro, did you see the Blink Charm coming out of Clearcast? While you were casting that in the back line there, Clearcast used the Blink Charm, got away from the Fang Malal. I love this play right here. An inhibitor is going to fall mid lane. Remix Gibbler and Mr. Wacko know what's happening.
Look at
They're
this.
taking out an inhibitor mid lane. Great heads up play. We lost your prime, but you're going to get punished the most for this right now. This relegates somebody to staying in this lane. If they can get away free, Mort and Obs are coming. Faye is there.
Look how low they
Remix
are.
is going to get caught. He's going to end up falling. Wacko, run!
Oh, the tether missed. Give up Grux. If I'm them, I'm saying, you know what, just give up Grux. We just got a mid inhibitor. That was a beautiful heads-up display, man. Absolutely beautiful.
The roots here, Shane, is he's still not out of the woods yet. Root is going to miss.
Oh, he Blink Charms nowhere, but he still avoided the roots, so he's going to get away nonetheless.
Great heads-up play coming out of Blood's Groupies right now. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They got that inhib mid lane. That is a damn good call right there. So well done, Blood's Groupies. You know you're down the Orb Prime, but you give yourself an advantage in this mid lane. They don't have to worry about counter pushing this mid lane as of right now. They're going to have minions that were stronger than before on the map pushing this lane for them. They have 4 up. They're going to be able to defend. The fact that Orb Prime is activated, yes, it's an advantage for Synergy right now, but 4 people still alive. Great lane clear coming out of Kalari bot. They're going to be able to have quick rotations. They're going to be able to boost their minions and push their minions away from the tower because of Narbash, and they're in a really good spot right now. The bans actually were not Iggy and Rampage, they were Richter and Rampage, guys.
Yep. Richter and the Rampage, as you so like to call him. So, all of a sudden, Groupies took a situation where they were down and out for a period of time because no Narbash is on the field. They realized, they understood, they had the awareness and the game sense that they were going to take Orb Prime. They committed to the push mid lane, and that's what we always talk about, setting the lanes where the lanes push out. They had that mid lane pushed out. They capitalized on it, and they punished what could otherwise be known as a overcommitment onto the Orb Prime. But the response from the Russian team of Synergy is to try to get this inhibitor in the red lane, and they're going to try it. But the Smasher Grab onto Clearcast. There is no Blink Charm. They're going to focus him down to down. Goes Sparrow in the blink of an eye. The 5-man for Venus Flytrap is there, but it might not be enough. Mortician ulted in, but they're just onto the tanks. The Tesla Dome's a non-factor. The Russians, even with the Orb Prime, might be falling. He does go down. The fight continues. The Thunk onto the Sevarog. The 3 most important heroes goes down. Muriel was relegated to mid lane, dealing with the push, and, I mean, could they just go for the core here? If not, they could go for the game. If not, they could at least continue to build momentum. Do you think that Synergy got a little bit ahead of themselves there? Do you think they should have been a little bit more patient? I don't. I think they just didn't respect the Smash and Grab, and Smash and Grab just wrecked them right there.
They got confident. They got confident. We've at Orb Prime. We have an advantage, and Blood's Groupie said no. You don't. You're diving an inhibitor. Here comes the Smash and Grab. The gameplay out of Remix from first game to this game is night and day. Remix
it really is.
The first game I was like, man, this Grux is not doing very well. He came back. He must have read my mind and said, nah, watch this. I know what I'm doing, and put in work. Nick's not going to be able to protect this. This is going to be GG for Blood's Groupies, and we're going to move on to a game number 3. What a damn good game from Blood's Groupies right there. They came back after losing game number 1. I'm going to say they got bullied game number 1. Synergy just